Welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm changing my setup here. I'm playing around with my setup, let's put it that way, to see if I can find some way that it works better. So welcome back if you've been here before. Welcome in if you're new. My name is Bark. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. There's a message about communication. Something about an idea here. A new beginning. Let's see what Spirit has to say. The rebel at the bottom of the deck. Oh, now I have to figure out where the bottom or where the camera actually is. Anyway, I hope you all are doing great. Support, money, and obstacles. So, there's some idea here, whether it's you or someone else, some communication that you might, here's Three of Wands, so vision, some communication about something here that you might, a new idea that someone has or you have, or, well, not or, and someone could be contacting you about this new idea, a new beginning, asking for support in the form of money. There's some obstacle here. So we'll look into and see what this is about, and if this is a good idea. Talk to me about this communication, this new idea, Spirit, for the collective here. Five of Discs, which is the Five of Pentacles. Curiosity. And Nine of Swords. Lovers at the bottom, which, you know, can be about balance also. There's kind of a, I don't want to say icky, but you know, there's a feeling here around this with the Five of Pentacles that this lack mentality, of course, that can also be, you know, the obstacle thing to overcome, that there's a need for money here. My feeling with this, here's the Nine of Swords, which, you know, of course, is overthinking, stress, anxiety, that type of thing. So whatever this new beginning is, and the support that's being asked for some of you, it can also be you having to ask for support from someone else, which, you know, then is bringing some overthinking about this. Here's the Page of Swords. I think it's really important to be curious about what is this idea, to really ask some questions, to go in deep, you know, with the Nine of Swords here too. That can also be a lot of questions, a lot of asking, and a lot of trying to get to the bottom of what is this actually? Why is why is it making me feel like this? Why am I a little hesitant? Generally speaking, this feels like there's someone who wants to do something who costs quite a bit of money. They need sort of a crutch, they need help, they need support in order to overcome this obstacle. And the question here is, should you give it to them or not? So talk to me about the challenging energies in this, Spirit. I don't like that Five of Pentacles. I really don't. The Star. This could be someone healing a pattern around money. Tell me about the Star. Why is the Star here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This could be healing a pattern around money, about being in this lack mentality here with the Five of Pentacles, not having enough. Um, for some of you, this could be about having a whole bunch of ideas, with the idea card, the curiosity, the Nine of Swords. This could be about having a lot of ideas, but not really being able to manifest the support for them, the money, um, the the help of other people to bring it into reality. Talk to me more about this, Spirit. This Page of Swords also with the communication, could be someone asking about an idea that you have and being curious about that. That does not really feel right to me as I say that. Be careful if someone is overly interested in an idea you have, because even if you can't afford to fund it right now or you don't know how to move forward with it, there might be money coming later that can help you manifest this new beginning and overcome the obstacles. I don't think this is for all of you, but I'm just kind of feeling that something is off if someone all of a sudden shows a lot of interest in something you want to do. I would just be careful. Don't, with the Nine of Swords also, don't overshare. Don't tell someone everything. Tell me more about the obstacles here, Spirit. Yeah, balance. Finding balance. Why is the Temperance here? Now they all fly out. Here's the Lovers and the Nine of Pentacles. And the King of Cups. The Lovers, of course, can be about balance in a situation as well. Choices, that kind of thing. The Nine of Pentacles really is, to me here, is like an energy of you can do this on your own. Here's the Knight of Cups, which often is a loving energy. The key word on the card in this deck is control, which always gives me this feeling of, we'll swap love for control type of thing. Not always, but there's just something off here. Can I know what is off here, Spirit? Why is this energy feeling off? Page of Wands. Something you need to explore, something you need to learn. Ten of Wands at the bottom. Burden. Talk to me about the Page of Wands, Spirit. Eight of Wands. Something is moving fast here. So whatever this communication is, it can come in real fast, like out of the blue type of feeling, which might actually catch you by surprise. And, some of you your guard might not be up because this is just like coming in out of the blue from a person you actually trust, is my feeling with this King of Cups thing. So just be a little bit cautious of how much you share at this point. And if this is, the flip of this, someone asking you for money, for support, for something, I would still be very, very curious about it. Try and remain some sort of balance. Yeah, this, the King of Cups is someone that you care about, someone that cares about you. Be careful not to be swayed without really knowing exactly what is going on here. Chariot. It came out in reverse. I don't normally really read reverses, but it's just like something is stuck here. Something is just not moving. So I think we'll take it. Five of Cups, disappointment. Yeah, so, if someone asks you for money and you say no, there will, I hear, be holy hell to pay. I hope that's not the case. But someone is going to not be so happy about it. So just be a little warned about, here's the Eight of Swords, being in feeling like you're stuck in a situation. For some of you, this could be that you really feel like this is not a person you can really say no to, especially if you have the funds readily available, if someone asks you for funds. Um, if it's the other way around, you might be in your head, feeling like, oh, can I really ask for help here? Should I ask for help? So it's kind of like, depending on if this is you asking or you being asked. And I feel there's for whoever is going to watch this reading, there'll be both scenarios. So tell me more about the Eight of Wands, Page of Wands. Yeah, the Empress. That's that feeling of self-sufficiency. She's strong, she is charismatic, she's the lioness in this deck. You don't mess with that. They know how to hunt, they know how to take care of themselves, their kids, their families, whatever, there's something here that Six of Wands, success, but underneath that is the Seven of Swords, which is that deceptive energy. There's something, I feel in this, there's something that's not being presented the way it is. If it's you having the idea, needing funds from someone else, they may not be totally upfront about how they see this partnership actually proceeding. And there might be some expectation about the power or the control of the situation that may not really be explained clearly. And if it's you lending money to someone, I would again dig really deep to make sure you have the whole story, because something is just off in this energy. What is supporting the seer in this, or the viewer in this spirit? That was a lot. Ooh, devil energy at the bottom here. So this, is the unconscious, behind the scene type of thing. So again, be careful. There's something here that you're just not seeing, that are not being put out in the open in regards to this. Eight of Cups. Leaving something behind here. Here's the Page of Pentacles. See how he is fully dressed in armor and everything else here. Reliability is the word. To me, this card always in this deck feels like you are really trying hard to protect your boundaries, to make sure that you are sticking up for yourself, to not really, fall for any BS. Death card behind this. So that's Scorpio energy. There can be something with karma here too, but I really just think that there's something that needs to come to an end, which is a weird feeling because I kind of feel like this hasn't happened yet. Like this, either you're in the middle of it or it's coming up. I suppose for some of you, this can be behind you and you're kind of like, nope, don't want to deal with that anymore. Or this is Spirit's way of saying, all right, you need to get a new game plan because this is really not. Seven of Cups, choices, which, sometimes can be good. But here I feel like, again, there are things you're not seeing, These choices represent things that you're not seeing with the Devil card here. Oh, and here's the High Priestess behind that. Make sure that you ask a lot of questions if this is someone asking you for help, and if you are going to ask someone to support your ideas. Again, Seven of Cups, don't give out too much information. Use your intuition. Is this a good idea to ask this particular person? Maybe it's a certain person you shouldn't be asking. Maybe there's someone else that would be more suited for this. I don't know. There's just something that is off here with whatever this energy is. Here's the Queen of Cups, more intuition. Yeah, and Ace of Wands. So there's definitely there's some project here that, is is at the beginning. There's an opportunity here for something to start. Now in this obstacle thing here, whatever this is, if it's whatever it is that's causing all this stress, there's no, it's worth noticing that this lock is actually not locked. So, it's kind of like the Eight of Swords where, she feels like she's stuck, but she's actually not really. So there might be something for this. Perhaps, you're overthinking something. But again, there's just another energy that I would be really careful of. Don't give out all your secrets. That's just, yeah. What does the viewer not see coming, Spirit? There's a decision that needs to be made here. Two of Swords. Yeah, Five of Swords. This can actually, this can lead to some discussions. Again, like I said earlier over here, someone is not going to like if you say no. They're just not going to like it. However, I feel it's very important that you make a decision based, on your intuition, on your gut feeling, on all that, good stuff. Yeah, look into the facts, read the contract if there's a contract. Ask a lot of follow-up questions, do all of that, but in the end, trust, even if everything looks good on paper, is what I'm getting at here, then trust that there's a reason for this reading showing up, for your intuition. If you're feeling any amount of doubt, go with that. Stick with that. Don't disregard it. Yeah, competition here at the bottom. Discussions. Not really being on the same page. Tell me more about the Five of Swords. The Emperor energy here at the bottom. For some of you, this is a family related thing. Here's the Six of Cups. So this person asking you for money is, family or a friendship that's close enough to be family. So you might somehow feel obligated. Or you are asking someone really, really close, and there might be a warning here. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure this is the best way to proceed? Here's the Tower. So some event is going to occur that is going to make sure that whatever this is, it's going to move forward. This Chariot is going to turn and it's going to move forward. This could have to do with your stability. And your sense of, having everything you want in life. Again, just be careful. Advice here, Spirit. Ooh. Page of Cups. Yeah. Time to look at, what is actually. This to me, as he sits there, is like, okay, I'm taking a break to really feel into what is this? What does this actually mean? Queen of Wands. Page of Wands. Yeah, he's standing here looking with his wand out, into the horizon, kind of going like, what is out there? And she's like very, very intuitive to me. The way she's standing there, it's like super, super intuitive vibe. So use those two things, look ahead, look at the logical part, and make sure to follow that intuition too. Four of Cups. This can take some time, and that's okay. It's important to, that things go the way they're supposed to. Justice. There could be contracts involved in this. Think very, very careful before you sign anything. Before you take on a partnership, before you, help fund something, before you ask other people to help you fund something, just make sure you really, and I almost want to say, especially if it's a very close connection, which I feel it is for most of you, just make sure that everything is done the correct way. Um, get a lawyer involved is if it's something that, you know, so that you don't later run into all of these discussions. Well, this wasn't fair and you tried to cheat, or blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is, and it can be different for all of you, but there's definitely some conflict that can arise from this. Um, and I feel for a lot of you, it'll take you by surprise. You will not see it coming. Anything else, Spirit? Yeah, judgment. Someone might judge you on this. You might judge someone. This will be like, whoa, didn't see that. What was that? That was not how this was supposed to go down. Ace of Swords, seeing something clearly. Yeah. One last card, Spirit, of advice here. If you're still here, please click like, subscribe, write a comment if this resonates with you. And if not, that's okay too. No hard feelings. Yeah, the Sun. Yeah, and here's Page of Swords. Knight of Swords, sorry. So this, this can come in fairly quick. And again, take your time. Don't just, make sure you see everything fairly. Make sure you've judged the situation fairly before you sign on the dotted line. It will turn out okay as long as you take your time and make sure you really follow your intuition on this. So, yeah, 6 of Wands in the split, success. So, not to totally worry, just be aware that this, if it's not done correctly, could potentially cause some conflict that really is not necessary if you just take your time and make sure that you do this the proper way. Don't, feel pressured to do something that doesn't feel right. I think that's very important. There has to be balance here. So, anyway, I hope it resonates. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading. Big love.